Hello my glam fam, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about a much coveted product right now. It has actually been sold out twice in a row now ever since it came out. Available at stores, all kinds of stuff. It is sold out regardless. I was lucky to get my hands on it the first time that it went on for sale. I'm not on any PR lists or anything like that, so I have to buy everything myself. But anyways, this is a product that has been really sought after, something that has kind of changed the makeup game a little bit, and something that I feel like everybody should probably have in their collection. But I don't want to say that just yet because I haven't tried it out. I bought this last week, got sick, obviously I still sound pretty awful, and so I didn't want to mess with the palette then whenever I was sick. But now that I am recovering, I have been dying to get my hands on this palette and at least make a look out of it. There are other videos that I would like to do as well, but I wanted to start off with a first impression. So I haven't even done anything. I've swatched a little bit of it, but I haven't done anything on my eyes with it, so I'm really excited to see how it works out. But this is the Morphe x James Charles palette. This is what it looks like. It is a nice matte black, but it doesn't feel like cheap, like cardboard. Wow, my hands. It's almost like thermal. But anyway, and then it's got like that nice glossy Morphe x James Charles on there with his signature. So it's a big palette. Like this thing is huge, and compared to like the Jaclyn Hill palette, it is pretty massive. So it is a big palette, but it has 39 colors in it, which are amazing. So I'm gonna open it up for you guys. I have the little sleeve of the colors on there, but it says "Unleash Your Inner Artist" up at the top, which I think is so cute. This has the actual names on there, but I'm gonna take this off so there's not a glare coming from my camera lighting. So this is what it actually looks like. It's nice and matte on the inside. Just very nice and sleek and beautiful, but you have all of these colors up here that are very neutral and everyday wear. You have these, I think 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 large pans right here of colors that you're going to be using more often, and then you have all of these beautiful, artistic, colorful looks right here. So I don't typically do colorful looks, but I'm very excited to try this. I don't necessarily want to swatch a bunch of it because there are plenty of videos with swatches on the internet, but I will swatch a few for you. So like the shade Skip, I'm gonna put that on my finger and swatch it on the back of my hand, and that's pretty pigmented and bright and beautiful. I'm gonna take another bright color. This is the shade Playground, I believe. This one right here. Like this teal color is very pretty. I love that one. And these are pressed pigments, so these are going to be a little bit different than a actual like pressed eyeshadow, because it's actual pigment that has been pressed, whereas eyeshadows are a little bit more dulled down and not as thick. So anyway, I wanted to go ahead and jump in and make a creative look. I'm going to be doing a look inspired by Nikki Tutorials. She had done a look a little while back that was like yellow on the inner corner, because yellow is my favorite color, so I really want to use the yellow. And then she did like orange right here, a little bit of like a burnt orangish red, and then like a bright neon pink, and she kind of wrapped it all the way around her eye, and then did a cut crease and did white like right here. So I'm gonna kind of do something like that, something more colorful, and then I would like to make another video of something more fall appropriate, more wearable, because I feel like there has been a lot of colorful looks on this palette, and at first I wasn't going to do one, but just looking at the palette, I just kind of feel like I have to, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the video. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to zoom you guys in here in just a second, but I'm going to grab a small Sonia Kashuk pencil brush and dip into that shade B, which is that bright yellow shade, and I'm going to put that in my inner corner and pretty much bring it up to my brow. And I know it's a little bit disorienting with it being a little bit closer to my eye, and I'm sorry for all the jerky motions, but I just figured y'all would be able to follow along better and actually see the detail of these eyeshadows and the color payoff if I zoomed it in a little bit better. Obviously, if I have a better quality camera, you'd be able to see so much better. But as you can tell, just kind of swiping that on there, patting it and kind of swiping it. And then I'm going to grab the Morphe E18 brush. This is just a small blending brush with that shade B on there, just to kind of fluff it out so there's no harsh lines and it's not real bad. So then I'm going to grab another Morphe brush. I honestly have no idea what the name of this Morphe brush is because it literally doesn't say what brush number it is. But it is a tapered Morphe blending brush. And I dipped into the shade 518, which is the bright orange shade. On camera, it doesn't look like it's bright orange, but trust me, it is. And in person, it is a bright orange. And I'm just putting that right next to the yellow shade that we put on there, B. And I'm just blending that in next to that yellow shade and blending it out towards the outer corner of my eye, and I have it pretty high up in the crease there. So just again going back and forth, just making sure everything looks good, and then I'm grabbing that small little pencil brush and going back over that again. I still want to make sure everything looks good. And now I'm going to be using that same brush, but I'm going to be dipping into a darker shade, and that shade is the shade Rested, and that one is a more burnt orange-ish type of red, type of orange shade. So I'm just putting a small amount there. And now I have the Morphe E17 brush, which is a dense, fluffy blending brush from Morphe, and I put it in the shade Skip. Now Skip is a like neon pink. It's the one that I swatched on my hand before I started, and it is a pretty intense pink. And as you can tell, I'm just kind of packing it on there and then slowly like winging it out. I will put on my foundation and everything else after this, so pretty much what I'm doing right now is useless. I realized that once I did my foundation, like, oh well, this is kind of useless, and I pretty much just had to kind of go back over it after I put my foundation on. But I at least kind of wanted to get the shape, so I'm just trying to pack on as much pigment as possible. All these colors are blending really nicely together, which I really appreciate. And now I have just my little Sonia Kashuk blending brush, and I'm dipping into that shade Rested, and I'm kind of just going back over those lines and just making the orange a little bit more vibrant. And I will also bring that orange down closer to my actual eyelid. I picked up that small brush, the Morphe E18 brush, and I went and literally just tapped my brush into the shade You're Kidding, which is that like true red, and I literally just kind of melded that in between that neon pink Skip and the shade Rested, because I wanted it to be just a little bit more darker to add dimension. And I don't know if you guys can tell that line of demarcation where I put those shades, but for some reason every time I put eyeshadow on that spot, there's something about the anatomy of my eye there that my skin does not want to pick up any color. I could pack on as much eyeshadow primer as possible, but there's always a line of demarcation there. Like, I can blend it out as good as I possibly can, and it's always going to have that line there, and it's so frustrating. So you can see me struggling by like trying to add color to try to make it better. So that's about as good as I'm gonna get with that. So I'm grabbing a small Wet n Wild concealer brush. This brush was literally 99 cents, and I got it at Walgreens, and I love it because it's nice and stiff and it's perfect for what I'm doing right now. So I used the liner from N.Y.X, the jumbo eyeliner in the shade Milk, which is like a legit like creamy white, to cut my crease. So I know that we're supposed to use eyelid primers for this, and that this is probably a little bit too creamy, but I wanted to use this white shade because I'm literally going to pack on the white shade Flashback here in a second right on top of this, and I wanted that white shade Flashback to be as pigmented as possible. and this cuts the crease pretty good, and I didn't feel like it would be an issue trying to put shadows on it because, like I said, I'm just going to put a white eyeshadow on it. So I'm literally, that's still the jumbo liner. I'm just trying to brighten that up a little bit, and you can tell that I'm just kind of shaping that cut crease the way that I want it to be. I want it to be a nice sharp little line, and this is more like a half cut crease. I'm not going to bring it all the way across my crease, so you can tell I kind of stop a little bit halfway through to 3/4 of the way through, and now I am just kind of digging around. I grabbed, this is just a small little brush. Honestly, I have no idea where I got it from, but it's literally like one of the crappy little like sponge applicators that you get with just like a normal palette, but this is double-sided, and I literally dipped it into that shade Flashback, and I'm just pressing that onto that N.Y.X jumbo liner. Now, I was a little bit disappointed with this white shade. It is not as bright and pigmented as it looks whenever you have it on the brush and in the pan. It's a little bit too powdery for it to have a lot of color payoff, which is a little bit disappointing to me. And maybe it was just how it looks with this. Maybe if I actually use like an eyelid primer, it'll work better. I'm not real sure, but just slightly disappointed with how it turned out. So now I'm grabbing my little Sonia Kashuk blending brush, and I'm just going over those outer edges that I, where that cut crease ended, because I don't want it to look harsh. I want it to look nice and blended. And now I am grabbing a N.Y.X glitter liner. I believe this is in the shade Crystal Glitter or something like that. What is it? The liquid crystal liner, Crystal Silver. And I was so against this liner for the longest time, and this look is actually one of the first times I had used it, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I always thought that it like applied chunky, but it actually went on really nice. So I am very pleased with how it looked. And now I'm just putting on my eyeliner. I am using the Wet n Wild liquid liner, MegaLiner in the shade Black, and just winging it out. I didn't want to zoom you guys in because you've seen me do eyeliner before, but yeah, so pretty simple, easy step. And then I'm gonna get off camera here and apply the rest of my face, and then I will meet you guys back in just a second with a full face of makeup pretty much, and then I'll show you how I do the lower lash line. Alright guys, so I am back. I put on my foundation, my blush, highlight, brows, everything else. I feel like I look a little crazy right now. Unfortunately, my eyeliner is starting to run in the inner corner, so it kind of messed up the eyeshadow a little bit. I feel like I look like off of Parks and Recreation, the episode where April, it's the Halloween episode where April dresses up as a sumo, like in a half-inflated sumo suit. And she kind of has her makeup a little bit like this. It's kind of like what it reminds me of a little bit. I think it was more red though. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and apply like the same shadows underneath my eye. So I'm going to start off with the shade Skip like we were. Oh my goodness. So while I was off camera, I had a sip of water. And apparently I needed to cough while I drank the sip of water, and ended up spitting it all over everything. So that was fun. Alright, so I'm going to use a small brush. So I'm going to be using the Morphe E18, which is pretty much the first brush that we used that had yellow on it. I'm going to wipe the yellow off of it though, and I'm going to go into the shade Skip and put that directly underneath the eye here. And I'm pretty much gonna match where it is, like under like where it is at the top. So got a good portion on there. I'm gonna put it right under here. I'm actually gonna pack instead of drag. I started to drag, and then I was like, no, I should pat it on there. And now I'll start to kind of drag it out a little bit. Kind of go over this a little. Ooh la la. Looks much better now that my like bottom lash line is being covered, because I felt like I looked just really weird. And I will list everything I used for my face down below. This highlight is so freaking amazing. It is the Ofra Cosmetics. I want to talk about it just real quick because it is amazing. Where the hell did I put it? It is the Ofra Cosmetics times Nikki Tutorials Everglow highlighter, and it's got like 3 different colors in it. But oh my gosh, it's amazing. While we were in Colorado, my sister-in-law bought this for me as a gift along with some Ofra liquid lipsticks. Oh my god, all of it is just amazing. It is all so good, and I love it, and I love her for it. She also got me this beautiful charm bracelet. I still need to add some charms to it, but I just, she's like the best sister-in-law ever. So Abby, if you happen to watch this, you are amazing, and I love you, and I miss you, and I hope that y'all are doing well. Anyway, gonna go back to what I was doing. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this eye here. And I'm not really like pulling my eye down, I'm just kind of like steadying myself with this. Oh, sorry, I had to cough. That's why my eyes are running. I'm like, my eyes keep running and it keeps messing up my eyeliner in the inner corner. I love the glitter. Like, that glitter liner that I was using earlier, I freaking hate it. Like, I have always hated it, and then today I've fallen in love with it again. I feel like I could never get it like nice and precise, and it would always turn out chunky, but this looks so good. It looks like Instagram perfect, and I'm so happy with it. And I know my brows aren't even, like, they never are. They always look like a crazy mess. So I'm sorry if that's distracting, and you can leave comments below on how much you hate my eyebrows. And the last comment, last video, someone commented, like, how can you even talk about makeup when your foundation doesn't match? And I went back and, like, the foundation matches pretty well. Like, I was like, thank you. I can't remember what I said, but I was like, oh, thank you so much for the feedback. Like, trying to be a little bit sassy. Like, I'm not the kind of person to be like, oh, well, F you when you're awful. Like, I was gonna actually say something like, man, I would have, like, said something about the brows first before I said something about the foundation, but I don't know. I think it's so funny when people, like, hate on stuff. Their actual name is Bite Me, and so I was like, this person is, like, a troll, and I feel like they're going around, like, different accounts and adding, like, negative comments to stuff because their name is literally Bite Me, so I think they want to, like, fluster people, and so I was just like, whatever, this is stupid. Alright. So that is nice and bright. Add just a little bit more to match the other side. My mirror lights up with batteries, but my batteries are running out, and so my mirror is like really dimly lit. And the lighting in our trailer is awful. The lighting actually on the camera looks amazing right now, but for some reason in like right here it's just so dark and it's so hard for me to see what I'm doing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this white liner from N.Y.X. This is the Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Milk. This is what it looks like. I talked about this in my drugstore favorites. Come on now. That's what it looks like right there. So I'm going to grab a brush, like a little just flat brush here, like this, and I'm going to put some of that liner, or yeah, that eyeliner on there. I actually should probably use this to cut the crease. I forgot that I can use this, and it would have made that white stand out much more. But I actually kind of like the white and how it's a little bit muted. It's not like so much, and I feel like once I actually get my P. Louise base in, that the white will actually stand out much more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a like fake lash line. So I'm going to go right here. Just like that, and I'm going to kind of carve this out and just go with it. I'll show you guys what I mean. Like, I love my N.Y.X jumbo pencil, but I wish it wasn't so big, because then whenever it comes to parts like this, it would be really nice to like get it like really detailed and nice in the corner. So I'm actually going to grab this smaller brush, because that other brush was a little bit too big to get in the inner corner too. So I'm just going to grab this tiny little brush. This brush is from a Amazon eye brush kit that I got like 1,000 years ago, like before I ever was like even really into makeup, but I still keep it around. So I'm going to use this instead, because I feel like I could be more detailed with it. And this is something similar to like what drag queens do. Like they kind of usually like bring out their lower lash line and kind of like make a fake lash line, and it's like usually really bright and poppin'. Okay, that's about how I want it, and then I'm going to rub this along my actual lash line. So that everything is like nice and white and bright. I'm going to grab that liner again and do the same thing. But it's just a little bit more enhanced. Okay. We looking like a drag star. Alright, I'm gonna do the same exact thing to the other eye. Okay, now I have that how I want it to be. I'm actually going to add a little bit of this white right here so that that liner doesn't look all jacked up and smeared. That is one thing I can never do, is like get my liner to actually cooperate. Alright, so since that is nice and bright and white, I'm going to grab this again, and then I'm going to grab the white shade, which is Flashback, and I'm going to just tap this on top of there. I'm literally just tapping that on there so that it sets and it doesn't smear. Because like honestly, I love that milk liner, but I do hate the fact that it is cream and it just like drags whatever product it touches. So like when it touches the like pink, it will like turn it into like a light pink, and I hate that, and it just like smears everywhere, and it just drives me crazy. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this. This is meant for eyeliner, but I'm going to grab this anyway. This is the Sigma E65 brush, and then I'm going to go back in and grab the shade B, which is that bright yellow, and I'm going to go around that white that we made. so it's not quite as vivid on the bottom lash line. But I also did use concealer down there, which I don't really know what else that I would have used, but whatever. It's a lot more vibrant on this side for whatever reason. Okay, now I'm going to grab that burnt orange Rusted, and I'm going to kind of put it right here in between the yellow and that pink. Oh my god, that is so pigmented. Yeah, that's definitely a difference right there. Okay, now I'm going to buff that out. I'm going to use this guy right here. No, let's use a fluffier brush. I'm going to use the Morphe M506 brush, and then I'm going to grab, let's see. I'm actually going to grab this shade right here. This is the shade... What are you? Acapella? No. Love that. Love that. So I'm going to grab the shade Love That and literally just tap it in there because I know this is probably going to be pigmented as hell. And then I'm going to just kind of rub it along the outer corner mostly. And then I'm kind of going to bring it in just a little bit but not go past like right here. Just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to put on some mascara. I am using the Lash Paradise by L'Oreal, just in the shade Black. I'm going to put that on my lower lash line. Okay, so usually this mascara is like amazing on its own. Like it's already, like you can see my lashes pretty good, but since this is a very dramatic look, I'm going to throw on some lashes because I feel like without lashes it just looks very weird. So I'm gonna put on lashes and then we'll come back and we'll do the lips together, and then that will be the end and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, so I have my lashes on, so now all that's left is to do my lips. Every time I see someone do a colorful look with this palette, they always do a nude lip, which is fine for them, but I wanted to do something colorful and something pretty to kind of match the eyeshadow look that I created today. So I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Gloss and I honestly don't know what shade this is because there isn't an indication on here of what it is, so sorry guys, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. Alright, so that completes this look. I don't know what my lashes are doing, guys, because these are some newer lashes I have never tried, and they are seriously the same in the inner corner, but this one is so much more like vibrant and it's driving me crazy. But I definitely feel like I look insane. But this look was really fun to do and very interesting, and so far I think the palette is amazing. Some of the colors I wish were maybe a little bit more vibrant, but at the same time I really am not 100% sure if it's just because I had concealer on around it. I feel like once I get my P. Louise base it'll be better, but so far this is a win in my book and I'm definitely happy with it, so I would definitely be using this and make a few more videos with different looks. There's blues and greens and all kinds of colors, so I'd like to do something along those lines, and then a more natural look, and then a more like smoky fall type look. So I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you liked it to let me know to keep doing videos like this, and if you want to be part of the Glam Fam you can just subscribe. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Bye. Alright. You can proceed by being a hoe. You know what? You're being such a brat.
Now I'm kidding.
What are you doing to our child?
Not spitting beer over. That's what.